one of the big additions this offseason, and it was a major addition this offseason for the Cincinnati Bengals, was Dexter Lawrence. Arguably the biggest trade in franchise history, probably the biggest trade in franchise history. I think the most shocking trade in franchise history. And it's funny because I think we view it that way, and we talk about it that way. And I think in the building you can clearly tell whether it's Joe Burrow, whether it's Ted Karras, which you can check that entire interview out on our YouTube channel right now. Do it during a break, though. Stay with us live right now. But everybody understands the gravity, but I want to say like the orbit that the defense is going to have around Dexter Lawrence and the impact that he could have. And yet I'm reading, and you got FoxSports.com versus Colin Cowherd, who's the biggest face of Fox Sports, and they're different. They're on different paths here, and I think it's interesting that Fox Sports has Dexter Lawrence in that trade ranked among the top moves. Colin Cowherd has it outside of the top 10, and there you go. Bengals trade the 10th pick for Dexter Lawrence, 5th on FoxSports.com. Not shocked by that at all to see that ranking.
No, not at all. And honestly, if I was to say I was shocked with that ranking, it would be that it's on the lower end of things. Yeah. I think the Dexter Lawrence move is certainly one of the biggest moves in the league this year. 5 would be the absolute floor for that. And I assume it got bumped down a couple spots this week with the Myles Garrett trade and the A.J. Brown trade, but still a massive trade. And I just think it takes, moves like that to another level when the team is presumably 1 or 2 pieces away from competing. Adding Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals defense certainly elevates them into contender conversations, and that's not necessarily the case with all of the big moves this offseason. So while Dexter Lawrence is obviously one of the best players to get moved this offseason, I think where he went and what he was given up for also just adds to how big that trade was.
For sure. It gives the Bengals a realistic chance to get back to contention. And I think that's it. I think that's what, when you look at this really high level, why everybody's so excited about it is because now you can see the vision.
Yeah.
Whether or not it comes together, who knows? But one of the best in the business, and whether you like him or not is kind of irrelevant because he's one of the best in the business. And Colin Cowherd is awesome. And opinions aside, whatever you want to say, obviously he's been great at what he does and has done for a long, long time. And so when he puts out this list, and we will play it, when he puts out this list, I got to be honest, I thought Dexter was going to be top 3, top 4, because he would see, oh, you give Joe Burrow a real guy on defense, it's going to matter. And that wasn't the case. Let's look at his top 10 moves of the offseason.
The top 10 moves so far in the offseason.
Number 10.
So number 10's Kenneth Walker, and he is an area of need for the Chiefs. But there's some injury stuff to be concerned about.
Number 9.
Mike Evans to the Niners. He's a Hall of Fame player. Injuries are an issue.
Number 8.
I think Kyler Murray to the Vikings is going to work. I don't think it's going to be 14 wins like Sam Darnold, but I could see it being 10.
Number 7.
Jared Verse to the Browns. You get a cost-controlled pass rusher. Don't tell me Cleveland was a big loser yesterday.
Number 6.
DJ Moore to the Buffalo Bills. DJ Moore, smart, veteran, durable, tough. I think Chicago's going to miss him more than people think.
Number 5.
Number 5, Trent McDuffie. He's just a great player, and he addresses a massive need.
Number 4.
Jalen Waddle to the Broncos. He gives them a number 1 receiver, and I think he's going to be excellent.
Number 3.
A.J. Brown to the Patriots. This guy has been hyper-productive with Ryan Tannehill and Jalen Hurts, and now he gets Drake May. Fantasy football guys, draft A.J. Brown.
Number 2.
Tyler Linderbaum to the Raiders. For a rookie quarterback, I think he is a massive get for the Raiders.
Number 1.
5 straight seasons with 14 sacks, Myles Garrett. The sack opportunities are going to go through the roof for Myles Garrett.
DJ Moore being 6. That's the one. I'm out. Get out of here with this guy who's my age, and he's not, but still close to my age, and had a down year last year. Maybe good still, maybe not, but that's when I was like, get out of here. There's no way, because you had the same doubts about DJ Moore, and it's a receiver, and it's a need. I get it.
He was given a massive extension, too, as soon as he got there.
And it was a second-round pick. Like, if a DJ Moore's worth a second-round pick, then Dexter Lawrence is worth a first-round pick. the impact that could have, I'm stunned. I wonder if they just forgot that deal happened. And I'm dead serious.
That was part of my thought, too, because I quite literally don't get the justification for having it outside the top 10. And maybe arguing outside the top 5, like the other Fox article had in the top 5. It doesn't make sense.
It's the Browns. They're not going to go anywhere. They're going to lose 12 games this year.
The thing I was thinking is maybe he was planning for around mid-season where he has to do where Colin was wrong, and he was just planning to have Dexter Lawrence's impact in that segment and say that it was one of the better trades of the offseason.
Ooh. That's kind of a fun bit. Do you think he tries to get it wrong on purpose sometimes to give himself
just set himself up for a really good take?
I think we're overanalyzing it, but it is kind of funny.
It makes more sense than thinking it's not a top 10 move.
The conspiracy theory that he's doing this to set up where Colin was wrong is far better than, Dexter Lawrence isn't one of the top 10 moves of the offseason. It was literally the 10th pick.
Yeah.
And you could go either way. You could say, like, if you wanted to mention it the other way and be like, the Giants moved on from this disgruntled star and they go get a franchise guard with the 10th pick, fine. If you wanted to go that, to not mention it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? But no, I mean, I think the Lawrence deal impacts the NFL far more than Jared Verse to the Browns. Now, I get the logic of that. So I'm just, of Myles Garrett being involved in it being a bigger move. Sure, he's the best defensive player on the planet. Probably the best defensive player of my life. I'm trying to think. I guess you could go Reggie White would be the other one. You wouldn't be around for that one. So that would be it. But like Myles Garrett's awesome, and now he has a chance to win. Great. Dexter Lawrence is awesome, and now he has a chance to win.
Yeah.
And he's joining an elite quarterback, and he's joining a defense that desperately needed playmakers and has been engaged. I would be stunned if 6 months from now we aren't saying it's one of the top 10 moves of the offseason. Like something went really, really wrong if Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals doesn't send an earthquake throughout the rest of the NFL this fall. Like that's it. That's where expectations are. And don't let these narratives, which again, it's not everybody, but when these narratives are out there, don't let that get to you, Bengals fans, because it's very, very real, the impact that he should have, could have, and for my money, will have on this Bengals defense and on this Bengals organization.
Yeah, and I think the worry is exactly what you said right there. If he doesn't end up as a top 10 addition of the offseason in the NFL, then something did go wrong. We know how big he has to be and how well he has to play to make the impact on this defense that we all know he can make and get this Bengals team back to where we think they belong. And that's the thing with adding Dexter Lawrence is it changes how the whole offseason is viewed. He needs to be a star in that defense because the conversation around a lot of these guys filling a smaller role, taking a lot off their plate, being able to pair him with a lot of these other guys in the interior of the defensive line and have success because of his double teams. And a lot of that falls away if he's just average or above average. He needs to be a star, and that's what's going to truly change what this Bengals defense looks like.
No doubt about it. No doubt. We had ESPN's Jeremy Fowler on the show yesterday. Awesome for Jeremy to join us. Hopefully it's the first of many, many times. This entire thing is on our YouTube page at First Word Cincy. Here's what Fowler had to say about how the NFL views the Bengals and views the Dexter Lawrence trade.
It's viewed as a move that was necessary for a defense that's just been subpar for the last 2 years. You have to make a statement. He's still a player who should have multiple prime years left, who didn't have the sack production in 2025, but before that was probably the best defensive tackle in the NFL. So the Bengals are banking on him getting back to that point. If you look at some of these other trades for superstar players, superstar non-quarterbacks, they've had to give up a little bit more than the Bengals gave up. The Bengals gave up just the straight one. You know, it was a high pick, but the Bengals looked at the draft and said, we need to get a high-impact defensive player. We believe that the numbers are not going to play in our favor for where they were picking, which I believe was number 10 overall at the time.
Yep.
And there were going to be guys ahead of them picked that maybe they wanted that were going to be off the board at that point. So take the guesswork out, get a premier player. The money's not bad. I was really, from a Bengals standpoint, they can be happy with what they gave up financially. They gave him a raise, but it wasn't a crazy new deal compared to some of the money you're seeing out there. So this is a player who is probably on the back nine of his career, but on the front end of the back nine still has at least a couple years where they can be highly productive. Some of these other trades, Sauce Gardner, Myles Garrett, some of these other star players, defensively, you're giving up way more than a first-round pick. So to get Lawrence for a one, the sense league-wide is that that's really good value. Even though it was a prime pick, it was only one pick, and that's reasonable for a player of that caliber.
That entire conversation with Jeremy Fowler is on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. Just search First Word with James Rapien, or on YouTube, First Word Cincy. Very, very simple there. Look, the value part is a good part of this as well because of what the premium is now. DJ Moore may be done. I'm not saying he's done, but he may be done. And I think he's going to have an impact for the Bills, but maybe not. I don't know. He's got to go out there and show it. It was a second rounder. Like, the cost for Max Crosby, if you would have told me going into this offseason, who would you rather have, Dexter Lawrence or Max Crosby? Who would you rather the Bengals trade for? I would have said Dexter Lawrence, and it's not hindsight. It's because he's harder to find. It's because Max Crosby's dealt with multiple injuries over the past couple of years that may change his career. He might not be the same player. Now, do I think Baltimore failed him because they got cold feet, because they gave up 2-1s, because they overpaid? Absolutely. That's exactly what happened. And they realized they could get Trey Hendrickson. But the Bengals got good value there. They were able to extend Dexter Lawrence 1 year, $23 million extension. He's under contract for the next 3 years. This makes all the sense in the world. It's definitely a top 10 move this offseason, probably top 5, and it could end up being number 1 if Dexter Lawrence is a Pro Bowl defensive tackle that brings stability to a defensive front that has been awful over the past couple of seasons.
I was thinking through this last night after I saw this clip to see just how crazy it was for me and trying to remove any kind of orange-colored glasses when talking about the Dexter trade. And in my opinion, right now, it's the third biggest move of the offseason behind the 2 trades that happened this week. A.J. Brown and Myles Garrett.
Sure.
Not the Jared Verse side of it, the Myles Garrett side of it. I think the Rams adding one of the best, if not the best, defensive players of recent memory certainly takes them up another level already as the Super Bowl favorites. And then can't ignore that the Patriots were in the Super Bowl last year with an ascending young quarterback. So adding a legitimate wide receiver 1 in A.J. Brown I think is a huge, huge move. But right after those 2, and certainly not far behind, is I would have Dexter Lawrence at 3. So I'll go even one further and say the Fox article that ranked him 5th was wrong as well. I think Dexter Lawrence is going to change everything about how this Bengals team is viewed in the league and nationwide, and also just how they can compete.